Welcome back to Level Headed Gamer, guys. My name is Joseph. Today we got another look at 3 different armor sets, and this time for the Pyromancer. And we're going to go through it pretty quickly, looking at each piece of armor and what mods it provides, and kind of talk about the general gist of what the style of gameplay is going to be for that particular armor set. We're not going to go too crazy into it, otherwise the video will be 30 minutes. In that case, let's get right into it, guys, without any further ado. And if you do enjoy this kind of content, make sure to subscribe down below. Let's do it. Now, we're going to start with the Torturer's armor set, starting with the Torturer's mask. Now, we got 2 mods here. We got Death Sentence, which is a level 3 for Ash Blast. Your weapon damage and anomaly damage against enemies affected by this skill are increased respectively by 20% and 20% for 5 seconds. With the second mod, Armor Melting, with volcanic rounds, decrease the target's armor by 20% for 10 seconds. So it's going to look like it's going to be like a DPS focused build with disabling enemies. I think most likely disabling enemies. We'll have to see what kind of other things it's going to bring along with it. And the armor set bonus, it triples the size of volcanic rounds damaging aura that surrounds each bullet, meaning it kind of gives off into other enemies as well. Let's move on to the second armor set. The second piece we got here is going to be the Torturer's Vest. And the first mod we got here is a level 3 mod called Susceptibility. Volcanic rounds decrease the resistance of enemies damaged by this skill for 25%, meaning resistance to fire, and you kind of up it from there. And the second mod is actually also for volcanic rounds. It's called Radiation Flames. Enemies damaged with this skill are affected with weakness. It's going to be a pretty, it sounds like it's going to be a pretty powerful build, but utilizing more simple of the simpler skills of this character. But let's see again what other pieces of armor are going to offer for us. The next piece of gear we got is the Torturer's Gloves. Now with the level 3 mod here, Introvert, it increases the range at which enemies are considered to be at close range by 2 meters, because again, this character is going to favor long range damage, and looks like this armor set is going to favor long range to mid range damage, meaning so you can get those bonuses at longer range. With the second mod, Extinguisher, Ash Blast applies over 41,000 damage to an enemy's afflicted with burn and consumes the status, meaning with also volcanic rounds, this is always going to be applied, which is really nice. Moving on to the next piece of armor, we got the Torturer's Waistcloth. And here we got a level 3 mod, Ashes and Leeches. Ash Blast, using this skill using the Ash Blast skill increases your weapon leech bonus by 40% for 6 seconds. With the second one, Extra Mag, a level 1, volcanic rounds, the skill is effective for 1 additional magazine before triggering cooldown. Again, it looks like a volcanic round is going to be the main skill that's going to be focused around this build, and Ash Blast. And what I noticed overall in these builds is they don't focus on more than 2 skills at one time and leave the third one up in the air, making it a very focused armor set. We'll see if some people get creative by having mods that have a third skill kind of be favorable within each armor set. Well, the last piece of gear we got here is the Torturer's Foot Gear. The first one's a level 3 Anomaly Echo. Grants over 113,000 firepower and over 94,000 anomaly power bonus to skill activation for 15 seconds. Jesus Christ. That's a crazy mod right here. And the second one we got is a level 1 Empowerment. Ash Blast skill deals additional over 59,000 damage. Man, I have to like think about how powerful the enemies are going to be at World Tier 15 if this is the kind of gear we get. This is going to be pretty crazy. Now moving on to the second armor set we got here for the Lava Leech armor set, the Helmet of the Lava Leech. With the first mod we got here is the Ashen Champion. It's a level 3 mod for the Phaser Beam. Inflicts ash on enemies instead of burn. Each enemy hits boosts your anomaly power by 15% for 10 seconds. Stacks up to 5 times. With the second mod, Magma Coat, Eruption increases the lava's damage over time for slightly over 39,000. Phaser Beam looks like a really cool power. It's going to be a matter of trial and error to see if it's actually going to be a favorable power, meaning it's a straight line. It takes a little bit to start up. It's going to see how much damage it's going to do. It's going to be one of those things a lot of people are going to test and really see the nitty-gritty of it. It's just kind of, again, a more improvised look at the armor we got here versus the power. Of course, I could be wrong here. I'm not saying I'm going to be absolutely right. It's just a discussion, guys. That's all. The next one we got here is the upper robe of the Lava Leech. With the first mod we got here is a level 3, not impressed. Reduces the damage taken from elites by 20%, which is very useful since he's the squishiest of the 3. And then the second one is Giga Blast. Eruption increases the skill's radius by 100%. That's nice because it seems to be quite targeted ability and it takes time to kind of set up in the right place. So it's nice that the radius has been expanded. The next one we got here is the Charms of the Lava Leech, or the Legendary Gloves. And we got the first mod here is Itena. Eruption skill can be activated one more time before triggering the cooldown. If there's a higher tier mod version of this, that's going to be insane. But the second mod we got here is Pure Power. Phaser Beam increases the skill's damage by over 59,000 points. Pretty kind of even what it does here. And again, I was a little bit wrong. It favors a third skill. It's Volcanic Rounds, Ash Blast, and Eruption for this build specifically. The next piece of gear we got is going to be the lower robe of the Lava Leech. The first power we got here, or the mod, sorry, improved damage. Eruption increases the explosion damage by over 67,000, as well as size matters. Phaser Beam increases the beam's radius. That's important. That's what I mentioned before. It's going to be nice that it's going to have a bigger radius, affecting more enemies. I have a feeling that Phaser Beam and Eruption is going to be very useful for bosses, not so much for mobbing. I could be wrong again. I could be wrong here. We're going to have to see how this build really performs in a environment when there's a shitload of enemies just running at you. And the last one we got for the Lava Leech are the boots. And here we got a level 3 mod, or tier 3 I should say, Even Odds. Increases your maximum health by 5% for each enemy within 10-meter radius around you. Stacks up to 5 times, meaning if you get surrounded, it's nice. You get a little boost of health here to survive. Also with Volcanic Armor. Phaser Beam reduces the incoming anomaly damage by 25% and weapon damage by 29% when the skill is active. Again, giving you the chance to actually activate it properly. So that's kind of nice. It's a protective. See, they're kind of addressing everything I'm bringing up as a concern for this build. They're bringing it up. So it really looks like they thought of everything from the onset of this build. Of course, it's going to be interesting how people tinker with this build and what kind of mods they switch out and what they do overall. It's going to be interesting to see. Now, the last armor set we got here is going to be the helmet, well, the Acari set with the helmet of the Acari. The first mod is going to be Fire Tsunami. Heat Wave increases the width of the fire wall, which is nice because sometimes if you're not careful, it's easy to miss and hit the enemies the way you want to because they just move out of the way. With the second mod we got here is Ember Shield. Overheat, each status consumed by the skill increases your resistance by 10% for 10 seconds, stacks up to 5 times. Nice, this is good. As well as the set bonus is going to be every enemy damaged by heat wave grants 25% anomaly bonus for 10 seconds. So if you're really good at hitting a bunch of enemies in a row, you're going to just do a whole lot of anomaly damage here. Moving on to the second piece of gear, it's going to be the armor of the Acari. And here we got a level 3 mod detonator. Overheat decreases the skill's cooldown by 50%. At lower stages, overheat, I mean, it's useful, but it's not noticeable yet because it's not boosted in the way it needs to be. So it's not noticeable, I think, in the demo. But also we got Tidal Wave for Heat Wave. The skill can be activated one more time before triggering the cooldown, which I've already seen on some of the armors, lower level armors in the demo, people having this guy who've been maining Pyromancer. The next piece of gear we got is the Gauntlets of the Acari. Here, it's a level 3 mod, Strength from the Fire. Heat Wave, using the skill grants 10 seconds and 15% weapon damage bonus for each affected enemy. With the second mod, Blacksmith. Overheat, each status condition consumed by skill grants... Wait, let me reread that. Each status condition consumed by the skill grants over 18,000 armor bonus for 8 seconds. I'm not, honestly speaking, I don't want to sound stupid, but honestly speaking, I don't necessarily know what that really means yet. But it does give you an armor bonus, obviously, when you're inflicting a status or when you're being inflicted upon the status. We'll have to see really how it kind of functions. The next piece of armor is going to be the Waistcloth of the Acari. The first mod is a level 3 mod, Anomaly Echo, grants over 100,000 firepower and over 94,000 anomaly power bonus to skill activation for 15 seconds. I think we already actually seen this on another armor, so we're kind of familiar with this. And we got Tradition Wave, or Irradiation, sorry, Irradiation Wave, Irradiation. Wow, I'm messing up here. Heat Wave inflicts weakness on enemies affected by the skill. Yeah, this is going to be more of a mobbing. It looks like it's more of a crowd control mobbing kind of a build. And I feel it's also going to be, because you're affecting so many people with fire damage, you're going to be healing quite a lot with this build. I'm pretty sure he's going to be the tank here. And now the last piece of armor we got here is the Boots of the Acari, legendary footgear. So the level 3 mod we got here is Master Consumer. Overheat. The skill consumes either fire or ash status to deal damage. Consuming both at once increases damage by 150%. Yeah, so it's doing ash blast and causing a heat wave is really going to give you the maximum damage output that you're going to be able to. So I mean, it's kind of like there's a lot going on in here. You're a DPS character that's also going to be healing a lot. It's crowd control. There's a lot going on with this build. So far, I'm liking this one out of the most out of the 3, but it's, again, on the surface, kind of very quick observation. With the last mod, Hellfire, Heat Wave. If the skill damages 3 enemies, all subsequent enemies will receive additional 28,000 damage. Guys, I gotta say, this is looking really good. Every single one of these armors, they don't look pointless and useless. They all have very specific uses, which again are going to be changed completely once people get their hands on. I thought I had some understanding of looter shooters, like I wasn't an expert, but I had some kind of an understanding. And then I see some of you guys, what you're able to come up with. It's really inspiring. I really mean it. You guys are fucking smart. I gotta give it to you. But again, I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day. I hope you enjoyed this content, and be sure to leave a comment down below, maybe a like. Tell me what you thought. Peace out.